Hey guys, thanks for stopping in. I had a suggestion the other day from a viewer named Ryan Perry that I make a Canadian dish called Poutine. And I was like, well, what the heck is that? He says it's French fries topped with cheese curds, which I happened to find at the Sprouts Market the other day, and gravy. So this is not going to be anything traditional, it's just going to be my own take on it. So let's get started. I watched a few videos on how to make poutine, and everyone fried their French fries, but being that I'm the toaster oven guy, I'm going to bake my fries. So I have these little fingerling potatoes, and I'm just going to cut them into quarters and then coat them with olive oil and bake them in my toaster oven. And if you've never seen a cheese curd before, this is the first time I've ever bought these and tasted them, and I'd say they kind of remind me of mozzarella cheese a bit. These fingerling potatoes are the perfect size for oven fries. I'm just soaking them in water for a couple minutes to get a little of the extra starch out of them. Drain the water off of those, and now I'm going to pour a little olive oil on them. And a little bit of kosher salt. The gravy will be seasoned, so I'm not going to season them with anything else. We'll get this all mixed up, and then we'll get them in the toaster oven. Set my oven to bake at 450 degrees. So we'll let those potatoes cook, and while those are cooking, we'll start making some gravy. Now it's time to make my gravy. I feel like I make better gravy if there's meat involved, so I'm going to put a pound of 93% lean, 7% fat ground beef in there. I'm going to brown that, and that's going to be in my gravy. For my broth, I'm going to use a beef bouillon cube, and I'm just dissolving it into 2 cups of water, so I'll have the right ratio, and I'll just add that in. But let me get the ground beef opened up and get that browning. I put my ground beef into my cast iron skillet here, and I turned the heat up pretty high, and now I'm going to season this with just a little bit of garlic powder and some onion powder. Now, most of the poutine that I saw didn't have any meat in it. It was just a gravy, but I told you guys I was going to do it my way, so I think this will make it a little more hearty and more like a meal. So once this finishes browning, we'll start adding in our liquid and make a gravy out of it. My ground beef's pretty well browned up now, so I turned the heat way down. And I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of flour, and this will help my gravy thicken up. That's probably good. I don't know, it's probably maybe a tablespoon or 2. I'm going to stir this up and let that flour brown so that it's not raw tasting. That flour's been browning for a couple minutes there on low heat. So looks good. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in my water and beef bouillon mix. I just put in all 2 cups of it, and we'll see how well this starts to thicken. We're getting there. I just checked on my potatoes, and they're not quite done yet, and my gravy is still thickening up. It's still a little runny. I just tasted it, and I'm going to add in just a little splash of Worcestershire sauce. And also some black pepper. There we go. And we'll just let this keep simmering until it thickens up. Actually, most of the gravies I saw with poutine weren't super thick anyway, so if it's a little runny, I think that's okay. My gravy has been simmering at low heat for about 10 minutes or so, and starting to look pretty good to me. Let's take a taste of it and see how it is taste-wise here. Oh yeah, that's good. That's spot on right there. Consistency looks about right to me. I'm going to go ahead and shut that off right there and go check on the fries. Okay, my fries are done. I just pulled them out of the oven. Now I think what you do here is you put some of these cheese curds on the top of the fries like this, and I turned the gravy back on because it's supposed to be nice and hot. so it melts the cheese curds, I think. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now let's spoon some of this gravy on there. Pretty hot. I don't know how well these cheese curds melt. Like I said, I've never had them before, so I've never done this before. This is all new to me. Looks pretty good. And I guess we just give that a second for all that gravy and hot hamburger to melt the cheese, I think. Okay, it's time for the moment of truth here. Let's see how our hamburger gravy poutine turned out. The cheese melt? Yeah, it looks like the cheese melted. Looks kind of good. Oh yeah. I bet you that's really hot though, huh? Oh well, gotta bite the bullet. Wow, I've never had this before, but I have to say that's really good. That big cheese curd with the hamburger and potatoes and gravy. Man, that was really tasty. I think this was a success. Look at that cheese, yeah, woo! Yummo! I have to say this turned out great. Those cheese curds are good. I'm gonna eat some more of them. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll talk to you next time.